In this video, we will continue exploring Centrify User Suite by looking at the self-service capabilities of the portal. In the previous video, you saw the different ways that a user can access an application. It can be portal initiated, it can be application initiated. The types of apps are on-premise apps that could be user passwords or SSO, including SaaS applications that are using SAML, WSFed, and other federation mechanisms. But in terms of self-service, in terms of apps, users have the ability to add their own apps. For example, it's very simple. All they need to do is click on Add Apps, and what that's going to do is going to bring up the application catalog. So if they needed to add an application, it could be as simple as just click Add and press yes. And then here, for example, I could add Amazon.com to my catalog. In this case, because this is a user password application, it's going to ask me to put in my credentials right here. We've already had a TripIt before. One of the cool things about Centrify is that it does provide a helper plugin. What the plugin does is that when you have an application that it requires a complex authentication pattern, it does that for you. So, and right here, I don't know if I have this already updated, but it does provide and submits the information as possible. In this case, I don't have my information updated in here. So you also saw that I have, before I showed the experience from a mobile device perspective. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up my device. So, and let's see over here. And it should show up in a second here. So my mobile device in this case, because now I have a device that I enrolled, and I'll tell you a little bit about enrollment later. But that device now has, as part of the enrollment, it probably got a lot of settings, including my active sync protocol settings, my VPN settings or Wi-Fi settings. That's part of the enrollment process. Also, as you can see, I got my web applications that correspond to the portal right here. But what's the problem? At this point, this device already has access to corporate data. So one of the benefits of Centrify is that it has mobile device capabilities built in. In this case, I don't have as many devices put in, but I have this phone. And notice that I can drill down into the phone, and I can take a look at where the phone is locating at the moment, right? I can, and I also have device application management. What that means is, for example, if I lose this phone, in this case of iOS, I have the ability to, for example, lock the screen or remote wipe. But if I lock the screen, you will see that in a few seconds here, the phone is gonna be locked, like you can see here. And if this was, for example, another device, for example, like a Samsung device that has Knox containers, I have the ability to perform way many more container management capabilities as well. So the benefit to organizations is that is one less call to the help desk. They can still call to the help desk and say, hey, I lost my device. Can you remote locate it or wipe it or lock it? But now we give the end user the ability to perform self-service. Another capability that it has is the ability to perform queries in terms of activity. So notice that in here, the password lock operation that I just did was performed. Another self-service capability that it has is the ability to do, for example, self-service password resets of, in this case, an Active Directory user. Notice that I said before that you can have what is called a hybrid identity. You can have Active Directory users that are just your employees, but you can have users in the cloud service that are maybe your contractors or partners. So you can have that split management. Notice that I can, if I'm allowed to, I can update my Active Directory attributes, and I can look at my memberships. Something that is really cool here, notice that, and this is what saves a lot of people underestimate the process piece of things. What are the applications that I have? Google Apps, Office 365, Salesforce, right? This is all because I have a role that is tied to an Active Directory security group. So if you look at in here, I have Office 365, Salesforce users, and also Google Apps. If I were to be disabled from those groups or taken out of those groups, I would be deprovisioned from those apps. Actually, the apps wouldn't be visible for me. This saves a lot of time for administrators, because think about this. If you have an IDM solution or a workflow solution that does add moves or changes to Active Directory groups, you already have the automation and the mechanisms to perform approvals. So this makes it really easy and doesn't want to overtake your identity infrastructure. And that was self-service for apps, devices, activity monitoring, and account in Active Directory.